Hi everyone, we're Group 1 and we're going to concentrate on precision medicine. We're going to go into what precision medicine is and how it's going to be used.
The National Research Council's definition for precision medicine is the tailoring of medical treatment to the individual characteristics of each patient to classify individuals into subpopulations that differ in their susceptibility to a particular disease or their response to a specific treatment. Therefore, it can improve healthcare by reducing unhelpful treatments and testing. As the definition implies, it can do this by revealing how at risk a person is for disease, by working towards preventative measures, by guiding treatments, and by determining how well the patient responds.
The Precision Medicine Initiative has two main parts. First, a near-term goal of focusing on cancers. Second, a longer-term goal to generate knowledge that is applicable to the whole range of health and disease. With advancements in fundamental science in genetics, genomics, and bioinformatics, and knowledge of the developments in precision medicine, both goals seem to be attainable.
Precision medicine requires a focus on multiple aspects of the individual patient and the community. This cycle illustrates the elements of precision medicine and how they flow together. Information can be gathered through population studies, clinical trials, and in labs, and can then be coupled to information from digital health, computational health, and imaging. This can form common information, which leads to an even larger network of information that can lead to more research and more discoveries. Patients, clinicians, researchers, and the whole community benefit from this cycle.
Some main applications for precision medicine are rare diseases, pharmacogenomics, and cancer. Some minor focuses also include cardiology and Alzheimer's disease and dementia. The following slides will also explain precision medicine in practice. This example was given to us by the Institute of Precision Medicine at UAB. The first step is consultation. In this step, genetic testing results will be analyzed. The phenotypic history of the patient will also be analyzed and taken, and the patient's family goals will also be expressed by the patient. In the second step, variant analysis is implemented. In this step, health professionals identify and understand the variant. This encompasses understanding the variant's molecular mechanisms.
In the third step, we investigate the biological implications of the variant. So first, we determine the impact of the variant on the protein structure, and we do this using research and literature and databases such as ClinVar, UniProt, and Varzome. Next, we classify the impact on the protein, which can be something like a loss of function, a gain of function, a change of function, or a truncation of the protein. And lastly, we determine and understand the pathway of the variant protein and how it's impacted. So for the fourth step of we understand the potential therapeutics that we could use to treat the patient. So we can do things like upregulate, downregulate genes, substitute proteins, restrict proteins in order to target this pathway. And we use a program developed by UAB called Medicanrin, and it helps us identify molecules that can do these actions, but it's very important to vet the results because not all the treatments that the program provides are feasible to give to a patient. So we also need to determine how we'll be giving the treatment to the patient, whether it's through oral medication, vaccinations, lifestyle changes, or diet changes. And for the last step of precision medicine, we go into clinical intervention. And so the precision medicine analysts, they develop a full research report that they then give to the patient's physician, and the physician then can choose which treatment to administer to the patient, and they then track the patient's progress.
So now that we understand how precision medicine is carried out, let's talk about some of the subgroups of precision medicine. One subgroup is pharmacogenomics. Pharmacogenomics considers the genetic factors of an individual as well as other omics of the individual to create a more efficient use of medication and limiting adverse effects. One field in which pharmacogenomics is used is in diabetes. This is because half of the people with diabetes have trouble finding the appropriate treatment, and this is because there is uncertainty about proper selection of anti-diabetic drugs. So, for example, if you had 3 patients who were all given the same medication, one could have a good response to the drug, while another may have no response, and a third may have a negative response. And why is this? This is because the three patients have differing genes. The American Drug Administration and the European Association for the Study of Diabetics recommend the use of precision medicine and pharmacogenomics in treatment because the differing genes make patients have different responses to a drug. And if you use pharmacogenomics, it may be beneficial by helping the patient find the correct drug sooner and have less negative responses. And so an example of pharmacogenomics being used for diabetes is with the drug metformin. Metformin is commonly used to treat diabetes, but Chinese populations and Japanese populations have a different response when they are given the same drug. And this is because the two populations have different variants within their gene. A difference in the variant OX1 accounts for different levels of uptake of metformin, which then leads to differing responses. So this demonstrates how genetic differences between population account for varying responses to drugs, which emphasize why pharmacogenomics is necessary. If different populations or different individuals have different responses to drugs based on their genetic makeup, it is important to determine what will be the best drug for someone sooner rather than later so that they have less drugs where they may have negative responses.
An example of where precision medicine will likely be used in the future is within the realm of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. And so currently this is not the standard treatment for these patients, even though there's a large variation in how these diseases present. For example, a study found that there are 15 subgroups based on symptoms and progression of these diseases, which further shows how each patient is unique. With the use of precision medicine, there could be personalized therapeutics that would improve these patients' quality of life.
A third field of precision medicine is using precision medicine to treat cancer. And so there are 3 factors considering when determining treatment for patients who have head and neck cancer. Those 3 factors are tumor factors, patient factors, and patient preferences. Tumor factors can be histological, which include the cancer type, the stage, and the depth of that cancer. They can also be molecular factors, which are the genetic basis of the disease and the underlying mutations that may have caused that tumor. Physicians should also consider patient factors, including age, activity, health conditions, and environment in which the patient is a part of, as well as the patient preferences, because it's important to remember that the physician is not just treating a disease. More importantly, they are treating a patient who has a disease. So, by including these 3 factors together and using precision medicine, a healthcare provider is able to tailor the patient's treatment to an individual and decide if the patient needs surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, or a combination of the 3.
As we have discussed, precision medicine is the treatment of patients as individuals based on their genetics, environment, and lifestyle. And so because of these reasons, patients with the same disease doesn't always mean that they will receive the same treatment. So this personalization will lead to less adverse effects and improved quality of life for each patient. Precision medicine is becoming increasingly available around the world and has been described as the medicine of the future. So hopefully this will help many patients have a better quality of life. Here's an example, or here's our references for this presentation.